mind?
One memory that I will never forget of Kevin. We had a very sad time with one of our little girls was killed in an accident back in 1994, I think it was, early 94. And we had no money and we wanted to do a CD. So Kevin decided he was going to do an Irish concert so he could make some money. And he did that. Then we hired a recording studio and we sang. The choristers were all behind there and Kevin was in front. And I'm the only one out here looking at the lot of them. And he sang I'll Walk with God. And he was in tears, singing it. Nobody else saw that but me. And I've never forgotten that, and I will never, ever forget Kevin's version of I'll Walk with God. It's beautiful.
The first time I met Kevin was in Year 7, sitting in my music class, and he was sitting up the front and was my teacher.
Kevin had absolute integrity. So I'm going to go on a bit of a soapbox thing here, but a lot of, in classical music, people are very snobby, or can be, elitist, snobby, and pretentious. And Kevin was none of those. So he was a very decent, humble kind of man, but he was as talented as any other. So I think, you know, the integrity that he had, he never took other people's students.
Okay,
Yeah, because when my husband died, Kevin, we went to, it was the 15th birthday, and Kevin said to me, why don't you come back to choir, you know, it'll be good for you. I said, no. He said, look, you can come back as secretary. He said, if you've done that job, you were treasurer. He said, why don't you come back as a chorister? And I said, Kevin, he said, excuse me, you used to sing with the first sopranos in the National Boys Choir. And he said, you were always, on key. He said, the boys weren't, but you were. And I remember a couple of times he said to me, listen to Mrs. C, she saw her. So,
Kevin.
Oh, he was just like my dad. No, he was a wonderful man. And when things were going wrong and there were arguments and women fighting and uniforms and children all going on, he had this ability to just rise above it and smile and say, it'll all be fine. You know, he was a lovely, lovely man.
He just never compromised on quality, standard and expectation. And one of the things that he always said was, he was very disciplined because he'd been in the priesthood. So he was very intellectually disciplined, and he said if you didn't have the discipline off the stage, you wouldn't have it on the stage. So he was very strict about rules, regulation, not anal, but very strong on this is that role, this is that role, separation of duties, this person does that, this person does that. He knew what he had to do, so he was very structured in how he went about things. And I guess the other thing was just that he was a really warm, friendly, decent, wonderful person. He was outgoing, he loved youth, he had energy like you wouldn't believe. He couldn't bear the thought of growing old, and they used to call him Peter Pan because he never looked his age and he never acted his age. And that's why we all loved him, because he just wasn't an old fuddy-duddy getting around moaning and groaning about how hard everything was. He just never thought like that.
Basically, I wouldn't be here if Kevin hadn't been so patient and so kind when a very young accompanist in her early 20s was very timid, really wasn't all that great, I didn't think, but he seemed to see something in me and persevered, was very patient, and I'm still here. So I'm very grateful for him.
Yeah, and I think the other thing you learned from Kevin was to lead from behind, so to be generous and to learn, and I wasn't like this when I first met him, so it really has been helpful to me. I learned how to be a generous manager, how to allow people to be their best, and that's what he did, was allow people to be their best and come up, to grow, and he wasn't threatened by them.